Good morning, ladies and gentlemen out there. In our previous video, I was able to teach you the method of derivation of these special angles, the sine, the cosine, and the tangent of these special angles without using calculator. So we're able to treat that method there. And if probably you are not able to follow up, you can go and stream down the videos that I taught the topic. Okay, so right now I am bringing you another method that you can use in the derivation of these special angles, and this is a special trick. Now with this special trick, it is very practical and very simple. With this special trick, you can still derive all the special angles. Now trigonometric trick for sine theta, cos theta, and tangent theta of special angles. And the special angles we are considering here include the 0 degrees, the 30 degrees, the 45 degrees, the 60 degrees, and 90 degrees. And guess what? These special angles, you are deriving them just by using your what? Your fingernails. Alright? By just your fingernails. Look at it, your finger. So this your finger here plays a very important role in this derivation. Now, first of all, look at your finger. How many fingers do you have? You have about 5 fingers, starting from this first one, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Now, this first one represents 0 degrees. The second one here represents 30 degrees. Third one here represents 45 degrees. Here represents 60 degrees, and this represents 90 degrees. So these are the special angles we are going to be deriving today. So if you pay attention to me, trust me, you would learn and you will understand very well without stress. So first of all, this is my illustration. I have the illustration of my finger here. The first finger, which represents 0 degrees. The second finger, which represents 30 degrees. The third finger, which represents 45, fourth, 60 degrees, and 90 degrees. So we'll proceed. But first off, we'll be considering the formulas. I will show you the pattern that we use. First of all, consider cos of theta. Let me use the black marker for visibility. So cos of theta. So this cos of theta here, the pattern we use for cos of theta is the square root of the finger above divided by 2. That is for cos of theta. Then next up we have the sine of theta. The format here is the square root of the finger below divided by 2. And lastly, we have tangent theta, which I will introduce later. Now let's look at this. Finger below and finger above. Now for this particular cos theta, we are considering what? The square root of finger above divided by 2. I will show you how it works. So first off, we are starting with what? With 0 degrees. So remember, with all these derivations, we'll fill in all these blank spaces. Okay, so now cos theta. So first of all, we consider cos 0 degrees. So in the cos 0 degrees, let's look at the what? Cos 0 degrees. So remember, under this cos of theta, you are told that you will consider the square root of the finger above. Now look at it. Put your fingers like this. You consider this. Remember I said that the first finger here represents 0 degrees. And now we are considering the fingers above. Now, how many fingers are above this particular finger here, which is this 0 degrees? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. How many fingers? How about 4 fingers? And I represented it here. This is the first finger. How many fingers are above 0 degrees? We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 4 fingers. So using this same format here, so square root of what? Square root of the 4 fingers. So we have square root of 4 divided by these 2 here. It's very simple. It's very simple. So cos theta is equal to square root of 4 divided by 2. And of course, we know that the square root of 4 is 2. So it's equal to, we have 2 divided by what? 2, because the square root of 4 is 2. And these two cancel 2 here will give you 1. So that means that cos 0 degrees is equal to 1. So we just go back here and substitute the value for cos 0 degrees as 1. Okay, next up, we consider the cos of 30 degrees. Now remember, this is your finger. The first one is 0 degrees. The second one is what? 30 degrees. So this 30 degrees, how many fingers are above 30 degrees? 1, 2, 3. So 3 fingers. The same thing here. 30 degrees, how many fingers? 1, 2, 3. So that means cos of 30 degrees is equal to the square root of what? 1, 2, 3 fingers above. The square root of 3 divided by what? By 2. Simple. So square root of 3 divided by 2, we just go here and substitute the square root of 3 divided by 2. You're right. Next up, we consider the cos of 45 degrees. So the cos of 45 degrees, still count it. 0 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees. How many fingers above 45? 1, 2. So we have 45, 1, 2. So 2 fingers. So we say the square root of 2 fingers above divided by 2. Simple. So you know that square root of 3 is in its basic form. So we don't do anything for that. We just put this here. So we have square root of 2 all over 2. I hope that's gotten. So it's very simple, no stress. So after that, we consider the 60 degrees. So we have cos of 60 degrees. Cos of 60 degrees. So under this, you have cos of 60 degrees. So cos of 60 degrees, we are going to practicalize it using the board here. So look at it. This is our finger, 60 degrees. How many fingers is above 60 degrees? Only one finger, right? Only one finger. Therefore, the finger above is just 1. So we just substitute 1 for the finger above. That square root of 1 divided by 2. What is the square root of 1? The square root of 1 is 1. So we can have 1 over 2. Is that clear? So we can substitute this for the cos of 60 degrees as 1 over 2. I hope you're getting me. Alright, so now we consider the 90 degrees. And this is 90 degrees. You put your finger like this. This is 90 degrees, the last finger. And is there any finger above 90 degrees? No. Look at it, 90 degrees. Any finger above 90 degrees? Of course, no. So that means cos of 90 degrees will be equal to, since there is no finger above 90 degrees, that means we'll be considering the square root of 0 divided by 2. Now what is the square root of 0? Square root of 0 is still 0. So we'll have 0 here divided by 2. And 0 over 2 is an undefined fraction. And every undefined fraction is equal to 0. So we have this as 0. So that means that cos 90 degrees is equal to 0. So we have 0 here. At this point, we've been able to just derive all the trigonometric values of these special angles. 1, 2, 3, 4, cos 0 degrees, cos 30, and what have you. Now we'll be looking at the sine. And remember that I introduced the format for sine as the square root of the finger below divided by 2. So we'll be considering that pattern here. First off, we consider the first finger, which is what? 0 degrees. So we have sine 0 degrees. So looking at sine 0 degrees here, the format says finger below divided by 2. Is there any finger below 0 degrees? Just put your hand like this and check. Any finger below 0 degrees? Of course, no. So it's 0. That means you have square root of 0 divided by what? 2. The square root of 0 will give you 0. So we have 0 divided by 2. And 0 divided by 2, of course, is an undefined fraction, is equal to 0. So 0 divided by 2 is 0. That means sine of 0 degrees is 0. Determined. Next up, we consider sine 30 degrees. So sine of 30 degrees, remember the format, finger below divided by 2. Now looking at this, how many fingers is below 30 degrees? Look at it, that's it. One finger is below 30 degrees. So only one finger. So we consider square root of what? 1 divided by 2. And of course, we all know that the square root of 1 is 1. So square root of 1 gives you 1 divided by these 2 here. So that means sine 30 degrees is equal to 1 over 2, 0.5. So now we impute 1 over 2 as the sine of 30 degrees. So gotten. Next up, we consider the sine of 45 degrees. So let's look at this sine of 45 degrees. So for the sine of 45 degrees, we also consider the finger below divided by 2. Now look at it, this is 45 degrees, right? 45 degrees. How many fingers are below 45 degrees? We have 30 and 0, that is 1, 2, 2 fingers. So we can as well say square root of 2 fingers divided by 2. So sine 45 is equal to what? So 2 over 2. Here, right? So we can impute this here. So square root of 2 fingers divided by 2. Gotten. Very simple. Next up, we consider sine of 60 degrees. Now, let us look at 60 degrees. That's 60 degrees here. How many fingers are below 60 degrees? Just 1, 2, 3. 3 fingers. 3 fingers. So we can see that the sine of 60 degrees is equal to what? Is equal to square root of 3 all over what? All over 2. I know that if I leave you right now, you can even fast forward me to finish up, because I know that you must have understood how to apply this. It is that simple. So with this format now, you see that when you are in the hall writing your exam, you don't even need your calculator. Your fingers can do the magic for you. That is why I would always tell you that mathematics is very interesting and very easy. So look at it. We have sine 60 as what? As 3 over 2. So we are going to impute this here as 3 all over 2 gotten. We're almost done. Next up, we have sine 90 degrees. So sine 90 degrees, let us look at the finger 90 degrees. Look at it, that last finger here. Is there any finger above 90 degrees? Of course, no. There is no finger above 90 degrees. So since there is no finger above 90 degrees, we have square root of 0. So we are considering the square root of 0 divided by 2. Square root of 0 divided by 2. We have 0 divided by 2 because square root of 0 is 0. Undefined fraction, 0. So we have 0 here. So 0 over 2 is 0. So we impute 0 here. So that means we've been able to determine the sine of these special angles and the cos of these special angles using this particular trigonometric trick. Okay, now next up, we are left with the tangent of these special angles. And I've not given you the formula for determining this tangent. I'll give it to you. Now for tangent theta, we have another pattern which I will introduce to you now. Now for tangent theta, the pattern that we use in tangent theta is the square root of the fingers above divided by the square root of the fingers above. The square root of the fingers below divided by the square root of the fingers above. So that's just the pattern. The square root of the fingers below divided by the square root of the fingers above. I know so many of you are all waiting for me to do the derivation for you, but no, I'm not doing it today. I will be doing it in my next class. So try to follow up and know when I'm going to be posting my next update. My next update will be on how we can determine this tangent theta. So do well to always follow us up, and you can always stream, you can always follow us to learn new things in mathematics. And for the parents out there, if you have any of your child struggling in mathematics, you can always call on us. We are there 100% to give you the 100% service that you need.